the only non-boring Libras I've met.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. This is all going into Yeah, I'm in an era where I keep meeting Sagittarians.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've recently been rebuilding a very intentional friendship with my Sagittarius ex. And I have recently started a new friendship / bromance / crush with a Sagittarius who is like the complete opposite of my ex and constantly reminds me every day what my ex was lacking in a weird way.
Right.
Yeah, so it's been a nice reflective kind of relationship. They're meeting for the first time next weekend.
They're meeting?
Yes.
Oh.
My ex is throwing a party and I invited just a friend / crush. And they both have full transparent knowledge of the dynamics
what's
of
going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it
sounds like an episode.
Yeah, and I recently found out actually that they matched on Hinge. So this is gonna be fun. Y'all stay tuned. I'll give y'all an update. And with that, hi guys, and welcome to Chirpse podcast with me, your host Glow. If you don't know, then get to know. And we have two very special guests. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Hello.
Hello, I'm Adwoa.
I'm Solomon.
And we're Adwoa.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay, getting straight into it. I wanted to ask you guys. I guess I kind of have to ask the second question before the first one. How did you guys meet?
Ooh, okay.
So we first met at an art exhibition. So obviously we were separate.
Of course,
I know.
Every time you say it, it's like very meet cute.
Yeah, it's
sort of
very
thing.
because like I guess in this day and age people meet online and like Hinge.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Tinder.
Okay.
X.
X.
TikTok even.
Yeah. Anyway, but we actually met at an art exhibition. And we were exhibiting as like separate artists. Because we were like individual artists when we first met. Yeah. And then we realised we went to the same university and we studied the same course. And we were like
Manchester.
Okay,
yeah,
what's the course?
Manchester architecture.
Random, but I love that. That tracks
So-
for both of you though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And then we just hit it off, I guess.
Yeah, well, like we kept meeting in different like friendship groups and all that. And then, one day she was like, oh, I'm making these nice slutty brownies. So, do you know what slutty brownie is?
Is that just a wheat brownie?
No, it's like my speciality. So it's basically like a brownie and it's got cookie dough, Oreo and then a chocolate brownie layer. And it's called a slutty brownie.
Sorry, I'm sending that to my Edibles club because he needs to do whatever you did.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
and that's when we sort of like met up and started talking.
That was his excuse to come over because I had it on like my stories and he was like, oh, I want to try some. I was like, okay.
Was it love at first bite?
Oh, 100%. It was. To be fair, it was love before that, but
Glow, that's the title.
Yeah.
So that's basically how we met.
And then, then we started painting together. That's a different story. If you want to go into that one.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. So we were different artists. Solomon was like a really cool photorealist artist.
Black and white graphite drawings.
Very like picturesque.
That's very architecture degree.
Yeah, very, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very Nigerian as well.
Oh my god, the amount of Nigerian artists that are so talented in photorealism. I don't know what it is in you guys' blood. It must be like
no, there's definitely something there. Because even like memory wise, like photographic memory isn't a real thing, to clarify, but I have what is essentially the closest thing to it. So like my visual recall is perfect. Like if a friend is looking for an outfit, I'll be like, what about what you wore that one time that we ate the fucking bean stew? And it was like a red 2-piece with this and this and this, and I had like buttons. Like I'll be able to recall that very vividly.
Very useful.
And I can draw things from memory really well.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like the amount. But my art was more like illustrative. It was very colourful,
beautiful,
very like textured. But the common thing between both our paintings was like we both celebrated blackness. So mine was very much like celebrating black women in all aspects, and his was like black influential figures.
Yeah, so Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Malcolm X.
So yeah,
and then so one day, I think I said that because I hadn't used painting for a long time. I was like, I love to paint with colours more, like, it would be great to be able to like paint in colours. And then so what she does is that she buys like same day, she goes and buys canvases, she buys paints, she buys some drinks, she's like sit and paint date night.
Yeah.
Straight there. So we had this sort of like date night where we were, vibing, painting, doing like different paintings together. And then on the last piece of canvas it was like quite a large piece of canvas. And we're like, oh, let's just paint on this one together. And we started painting, and you know, at the end we created something really beautiful, like this one piece. We called it The Idea of Beauty. And you know, we really enjoyed the process of creating together. And fast forward, 5 years now?
Yeah.
And it's literally what we do.
Yeah.
You have to show me that piece later.
We'll have to show it to you for sure.
When I was on the train here, I was going through some of you guys' videos, and I can't remember which video it was, but I was watching a video. Oh, it was a video about Olokun.
Yes.
And watching you guys paint together was just it just really I'm very autistic and like ADHD, and it really made me tingle. I was like, this is great, because I've always wanted. I find it hard to create with other people. Especially something as literal as painting. So I've always wanted to do that. You guys have such a Love Jones love story.
Aww.
Yeah.
That.
It's very cute. I feel hopeful again. Guys, this is a great day.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna break the ice by throwing you straight into a game.
Ooh.
This is off the top of my head, but we're gonna play a game of who is most likely to.
Okay.
Yeah. I might switch up some of the questions so they're not necessarily who's most likely to.
Okay,
Okay. Who lies the most? You have to point at each other basically.
Okay, wait, who lies the most? Oh my gosh. What?
3, 2, 1. Okay, you lie the most.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of lies?
I think it's either like Solomon said, little white lies, or sometimes I lie because I'm trying to be too nice.
Yeah.
Whereas he's more like cutthroat.
Yeah, I'm like you.
I'm more like, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Yeah.
Okay.
Or sometimes it's even without realising, like someone will be like, oh, have you watched this thing? I'll be like, yeah.
I'll just be like, wait, now we have to watch it.
But sometimes it's because I mix it up in my head and I think I've watched it and I haven't. And by the time they start talking, I'm just like, oh, it's too late. Let me just go with it.
And I'm just like, yeah, we're just going to have to go with it now.
Do you know what it is? Especially in-person conversations.
Yeah.
By the time the person's describing the thing, you don't even have time to process and be like, have I watched this? And it's so much longer to be like, no, I haven't watched it. Explain it to me.
So I just panic. I'm like, yeah.
I do that a lot. Okay, who is the most likely to get arrested for the other person? 3, 2, 1. I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just would in a heartbeat, you know.
Oh. Me and fucking who? Okay, let me see how we are. Let me even set the timer so that I don't get carried away with the games.
It's fun.
This is great. Okay. Here I'm gonna ask you some unpleasant ones as well.
Okay.
It might give you something to talk about later.
Okay.
Who is the most likely to get cold feet at the altar?
Ooh, I don't even think that's a. We have to pick someone?
Yeah, it doesn't have to. You don't actually have to think the person would, but most likely to.
Based
on their personality.
Okay, based on personality.
I'll give you more time to think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Because I know it's not going to be me. I'll tell you that now.
It's not going to be me.
It ain't going to be me.
It's not me.
It's not me, sir.
That's so interesting. I guess that makes sense. Do you want to hear my assumption?
Yeah.
Okay. Take no offense. Or do. Not my problem. I would say you, purely because you are, out of the two of you, you're the pushover.
Fair enough.
Because you're the one who lies to keep people happy, which probably suggests that you're the one who's more susceptible to suggestion from your community or social group. I think if one of your girls or one of your community made you panic enough, you might get cold feet just to give yourself more time to deliberate, to make your own decision. I don't think it'll be a thing of like you're walking away. I think it'll be a thing of like there's too many voices right now, I need to clear the noise, I need to hone myself and figure out what my decision is.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That's a great analysis.
Thank you. I pride myself on my pattern recognition. Yeah.
I love it. Just so everyone knows, I have a whole Pinterest board with my wedding dress, traditional.
Oh my God, me too. Can we exchange them afterwards?
Yes.
Okay, this is even a perfect topic. So I've recently restarted my spiritual journey. I'm trying to like become more in tune with myself and be constantly in conversation with the universe. And one of the things I've always meant to do every year is to make a mood board. But I'm the friend who has like over 200 playlists. Like I find it very hard to make a generic mood board for like this is what I want in life.
Yeah.
So I kind of like honed in like streamlined into like specific kind of life goals. And I've been talking about love a lot recently. I mean, I'm a fucking dating podcaster, why wouldn't I? But I was talking to a close friend and she's a dreamer. She loves to plan, she knows exactly what she wants her wedding to be. So one day we just stayed on FaceTime until 6 a.m. and we were like adding to my wedding mood board.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I've really nailed the aesthetic and now it's just a thing of like I need to envision or manifest the kind of person I want to be stood up next to me.
Yeah, I love that.
You guys will be invited, of course.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes please. Made it. But yeah. It was a very like wholesome and therapeutic experience, especially as a queer person where, you know, a lot of queer people, I came out when I was 14, I'm 25 now. A lot of queer people never kind of envision those realities for themselves.
Yeah.
They are so busy, we're so busy like spending time figuring out how we're going to survive, how we're going to be received in our communities by our families and by our friends, and also on journeys of figuring out who the fuck we are, what role we fit into in society, whether that role is fluid or might change. That a lot of us don't even have time to envision ourselves marrying people. You know, we don't have a statistically high lifespan thanks to the AIDS epidemic. And you know, so much of marriage is, especially in the Western world, so much of marriage is heteronormative. And that's the only way we understand it, and so it can be really hard to imagine yourself up there with someone. I know I'm going to get married. I know I'm going to have a great fucking wedding. I know I'm going to be happily in love. It's honestly just a matter of who, and I think recently I've been stressing less about the who and the when, and more about what kind of person do I want to be married to? What qualities do I want them to embody? And I think one of my recent friendships has really allowed me to see the quality, if I end up marrying a nigga, if I end up marrying a man, has allowed me to see the qualities that I might like in a partner and be able to enact them. I call it companionship cosplay.
Okay.
So I hope this friend doesn't mind me saying, if you do, that's your own. But this friend is somebody who is currently on his own journey of becoming in tune with his queerness. Specifically bisexuality, figuring out what that means for him, wanting to play around with femininity, masculinity, fashion, that kind of stuff. And I feel like we had a really nice phone call last night where we were talking about companionship cosplay and how our friendship has given us both room to role play the ways in which we like to be adored. For him, it's like role playing the ways in which he would like to have bromances, in which he would like to have kinship with other queer people, in which he'd like to play around with gender, sexuality, and feel safe doing it. And I was telling him on the phone, do you know what, shout out to you, I really love you. But yeah, I was telling him that that he shouldn't feel burdensome in our connection, because in his mind, I guess he felt like kind of like the imposter. He's the one coming into my space. I'm the one who is confidently queer. I've been out for a decade, I've done the work, I'm probably more assured in who I am than most men in general, let alone most queer men. And so he felt like he was coming in as the baby queer who, you know, was still learning, and I'm the one holding his hand for it. I'm like, no, you're holding my hand as well. Like, this is as much a space for me to role play the ways in which I would like to be loved, in which I would like to have companionship. I am not somebody who's always been comfortable with physical touch because of abuse, right? And through my friendships, through my community, and through people I love, I've been able to get more comfortable with platonic physical contact. But that is a very separate thing to romantic physical contact and sexual physical contact. And so I think I didn't realize I also needed a space where I can role play these kinds of touch in a safe space, because cuddling with my girls isn't going to do it. And let's be fucking too. I mean, which? I mean, y'all, holla. I'm in my bisexual bag this year. But like being able to, you know, hold his hand in public and feel affirmed, because I think sometimes we take it for granted. I don't know if either of you guys are queer, but I think sometimes queer people, we take it for granted. I've been out for a decade. I did the hardest thing ever, which was to come out to a parent who is from one of the most homophobic countries in the world. It was do or die. I came out to my entire high school at 14. Including all of the boys who used to bully me, all of the boys who used to make homophobic remarks, and I didn't die. So in my head, I'm like, I've done the big thing. But that gives you a sense of, I call it arrogance. People tell me not to call myself arrogant. I think I'm a bit arrogant, and I'm not ashamed of it. I think sometimes you forget the small stuff. It's like, yes, I've done the hard things, but that doesn't mean I'm comfortable in my sexuality.
Yes, yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm autistic. I accepted I was autistic in 2022. So I'm like, anything after that point is a completely new person. I do not know what it's like to have a long-term or fulfilling sexual relationship as an autistic adult.
Yeah.
Because the person I was before was masking most of the time, was in my head most of the time. I wasn't myself. So I'm probably just as insecure in my queerness as he is, but just in a different way. So I was like, yeah, we are both. I told him a metaphor that made him cry yesterday, but we are, like, when I'm with him, I feel like we are two toddlers playing in a sandbox, making magic out of nothing. Like, we are making a world together.
Yeah.
And sometimes the tide might come in and knock stuff over, or sometimes the wind might blow some sand off the fucking castle. But it's sand. We get to build and build and build and make anything that we want. And it's just us there. Like, there's nobody else who can define the rules of our play. So yeah. If you're listening to this, I love you very much. Like, thank you so much for bringing my glow back out. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where the friendship goes.
Yeah.
So do we.
It sounds like such a good friendship. You said whatever.
We're locked in.
I really want to get him on at some point.
Yeah.
But right now I'm kind of gatekeeping because I still have a crush on him, and I'm like, y'all hoes ain't gonna slow down, man. I'm just being honest.
Not gatekeeping the man.
Yeah. Do you know what as well? Because I'm someone who really enjoys optics. It's probably the Gemini in me. Also, I have a Libra Mars, so probably, yeah. But I love when things look like a thing. I am a very popular person. I'm a very social person. I'm somebody who is perceived a lot and is constantly in conversation with members of my community.
Yeah.
I also have a podcast. So a lot of how I'm perceived isn't actually in my control, which I enjoy because I don't really care.
Yes.
I'm not somebody who, when I'm at home, I'm not considering, other people are talking about me.
Yeah.
But then when people are just like, I assume this about you, it's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
So I actually spent Valentine's with this friend that I mentioned just now. And when you have a new friendship and you kind of have like a friendship crush where you're really excited to tell them stuff or excited to see them, and you might put a little bit more effort than you do with friends you might feel more comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I think it's been really exciting to find excuses to see him and talk to him and whatnot, and we've kind of made it a thing where every week we have a date night. Right? Again, just to clarify, I am single. I am not dating right now. Y'all don't be scared off. But it's been really nice again to cosplay romance and figure out what kind of dates I like, what kind of conversations I like to have.
Right, okay.
And I'm someone, I like to post things that make me happy. I've posted him a lot, he makes me very happy. And that comes with the assumption of, you spent Valentine's with this person, you guys are probably an item. I don't mind. I enjoy it. I find it fun. We went out there.
Think what they
and I think that's been very affirming for me as someone who, because I'm the confident one and because I'm the confidently queer one, it usually means that I'm the one who takes initiative in queer connections with other men, usually because other men my age aren't at the same point in that journey. Which is fine. I don't mind taking initiative. I tend to know exactly what I like and I have no fear about, shooting my shot, etc. But I also am someone who, I want to be romanced. I want to be wined and dined. I want to be courted. I want to feel desired. I want to be affirmed in that desire. And so me and this, I almost said his name. I'm going to take that out.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that out. Because if y'all are as smart as me, you can figure it out. So with this guy, there's been a lot of times where we're out with each other in public and people assume that we're together. The other night we were going to a housewarming, and on our way we bumped into some of my friends who were also on their way to the same party. And my homegirl, Valentina, shout out you, she just pointed at him, she was like, "No, this yours?" And that's happened a few times because I'm someone where I don't go to a motive, well I do, but I like to go to motives of arm candy. So I will have a baddie on my arm.
Okay.
Usually one of my homeboys who I have no interest in at all, I'm like, I just want to look good with you, and also it makes me more desirable, and also wards off people I don't want to desire me.
Wins all across the board.
Yeah, and then we can just win on each other. It's great. Maybe if we get drunk we might make out, but so I get asked that question a lot when I bring people around me. So Valentina was like, "Glow, this yours?" And I was just, and then I kind of froze because I didn't realize at the time, but that was a trigger for me. because that reminded me of times when I'd been out in public with men who I felt had a sense of shame about being perceived as queer in public, or maybe felt hesitation to be as open or visible. And so I was like, I was not expecting that trigger, especially because that's not something that occurs to me often. I was like, and you know, I kind of retreated into myself, and whilst I was figuring out the appropriate response, his kind of body language and like he was like bantering along with it, and that made me feel affirmed. And I made a mental note, this is a way in which I like to be affirmed in romantic connections. Because with my platonic relationships with men, aside from him, I guess you wouldn't really call it platonic, would you? But in my platonic relationships with men, I don't feel that insecurity. My straight homeboys, we'd be doing the gayest shit together. We'd be going out like skipping down the road, holding hands, like. But I guess there's that kind of like confidence because they're straight. Nobody can shake that. And then we got to the housewarming, and you know, me and this friend, we can be quite touchy sometimes, or we can be quite playful. I feel like that night I was a bit more reserved. Again, new space, new people. I kind of retreated into myself, and then at some point a girl that I didn't know came up to us, and she was like, "Excuse me, guys, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me if this is rude. I just wanted to ask, are you guys a couple?" Again, triggered. I retreat into, and also I think part of the trigger is because this is somebody that I'm actually attracted to. This is somebody that like I also want to desire me, even though I'm not trying to date them. It's nice to feel nice.
It is, yeah.
And again, I froze. I retreated into myself because also I didn't want to make him uncomfortable. And usually I do a bit when people ask me that question, which is often. I would just do a bit. So if someone was like, "Are you guys a couple?" I'd be like, "Yeah. Do you want to guess how long we've been together for?" And then we'll just like role play a bit, right?
Yeah.
So. He's never seen me do that. I've never done that with him. Instinctively, he was just like, "Oh yeah, this is my man." And I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "Yeah, my man." And then he like grabbed me by the waist and like he grabbed my face and kissed me in front of her. And I was like, this was really affirming. Because we're not together, but it was nice to feel claimed in public. It was nice to feel that someone was proud to be, ooh. It was nice to feel like somebody was proud to be with me in a public space.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna change it.
We got there.
We
got there.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for being an audience. Yeah.
Wow.
We are great for time.
Feelings.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna need to have a long phone call later. So with that being said, I wanted to ask if there's any. Obviously, you guys talk about mythology, folklore, and culture a lot. I wanted to ask if within the remnants, within the kind of like confines of your relationship, is there anything that you have learned, taken, or transmuted from spirituality, culture, or folklore or mythos that you have applied to your relationship?
Ooh, to our relationship. That's a good question.
Any fun morals? Or learn anything that you don't want to do?
I think so. There's this story that we've been telling quite a lot lately, and every time that we tell it in a slightly different way, and every time like folklore and sort of like these stories, they're so powerful because they all have moral stories behind it, as you said, and you take a bit from it each time you sort of tell it, and each time you sort of listen to it as well. Yeah. So the folktale that I'm talking about is the one with Eshu.
Yeah.
We've said it a few times now, but every time
Feel
I tell it, like I learn a bit more about aspects of truth and perspective of it.
Would I be able to ask you to tell it here?
Of course.
Yeah. And then I would love to hear what you learned from telling it this time.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the story is called I guess Eshu and Two Villages.
Eshu Park's Two Villages.
Eshu Park's
I will put a link to it in the description.
Yeah.
And so the story goes, I'm going to start with the short version.
Yeah,
okay, cool. So Eshu comes into a village and he splits himself. He paints himself half red, half black, and he runs directly through a village. Now there's villages on one side and villages on the other side. So the ones on one side said, "Oh look, Eshu, he's a black god. Like we saw a beautiful black god just run through the village." And then on the other side they said, "Oh no, we saw a beautiful red god run through the village." And they're like, and then they started talking to each other. They're like, no, it was definitely a black god, and the others would say it's definitely a red god, and it came to a point where they started to like, you know, argue until like come to blows over it, because like, why are you lying to me, or like, you know, what I said is right, what I said is true. And so the story normally has two endings.
Okay.
One, Eshu comes back and he shows them, oh look, you know, I'm half black, half red, and you know, I played this trick on you, and if you're taking the time to sort of like listen to each other, talk to each other, you might have found out a new aspect about your God, seeing that he's half red, half black, and that's the holistic picture of him rather than just the one side that you saw as being the truth. And then the other side of the story is that he just goes on to the next village and does the same trick, because the way you sort of have to learn the lesson one way or another, and if the lesson is to listen to each other, people have different perspective each time. And I guess what I always learn from every time I'm telling it is that there's different aspects of the truth, and sometimes your version of the truth, it might be your version of the truth, but it might not be the full picture. And by talking to each other, we gain that holistic aspect of whatever the true nature of something could be. Sometimes people are wrong, that's fine, but by talking to each other you can come to sort of like a better understanding rather than only conflict.
It's all about perspective, isn't it? Like people see things differently and come to different conclusions, whether it's like we're looking at one thing and you might see it differently to me and I might see it differently to you, and it's all about understanding people's point of view and the context within which they're like looking at something. So I think that's definitely something that we've taken like throughout our relationship. Like, you know, I might think one thing, but then Solomon's thinking something else in his head, but I don't know what he's thinking. So it's about communication and, you know, having that sense of open-mindedness as well, which is great.
Yeah, and through talking to one another, you sort of get that aspect of where someone's coming from. Because sometimes, yes, you might be wrong in your conclusion, but the reason why you came through there comes through your experience through life. And that's okay, and it's okay to have that space that you can talk it through and then correct, you know, negative cognitive behavior or to understand someone else's cognitive behaviors, because we're all neurodivergent in one way or another. We've all learned how to live life and experience things in different ways. And, you know, that's what we sort of learned through our journey together, is that, we process things differently, and that's okay. We just have to understand that this is sort of like her nature, this is my nature, and why we sort of come to the conclusions that we come to. And then, you know, you either have more empathy towards it, or you sort of know a bit how to navigate through it.
So give me 1 second, my OCD is telling me that the camera's not recording. But wouldn't it be fucking hilarious? Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so scared.
Sorry, I wasn't listening, but the whole time I was just sweating because I'm like, the voice is just getting louder and louder.
I can imagine, because I was like, wait, I know I zoomed in, but I didn't press no play.
I pressed play before you zoomed in, which is why my brain got confused.
That was scary.
But I think that's really sorry guys, we just had a moment of panic. But I think that's really interesting. I would like to present a third potential ending for that story.
Yes.
So, what was the god's name?
Eshu.
So Eshu runs directly in the middle of the two villages. One side sees a black god, one side sees a red god. He leaves them to dispute and gives them a chance to commingle and maybe come to a conclusion. They don't. Right? And after running through a couple other villages and getting the same kind of response, he decides to run back through them. And obviously, if you guys know anything about how the world works, you would understand that would mean that each village would now see the opposite colour, right? And potentially leave room for reconciliation, for apology, or, which is what happens a lot of the time in humanity, is people are so embarrassed or shameful of being wrong that they will create narratives, philosophies, religions, and systems to still affirm their beliefs.
And do you know what's funny? The extended version of that story has that ending.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
Wait, I'm locked in. Okay.
He literally turns around and comes back through in the opposite way, and you know the villagers on each side, they see the different colour. But they don't reconcile.
They still argue. They're like, no, I've seen a black god this time. And then the other side is like, wait, how you sing a black god this time, I'm singing a red god, like, and they still argue, and it's actually like hilarious when you think about it.
Yeah, so we're in the process of sort of like collecting some of these stories to write a book for it. So having all these different versions.
Oh, sorry, crap.
Oh,
continue.
You okay?
Yeah.
One of those little
stress,
so we're in the process of like collating some of these stories to sort of get a book going, and learning the different versions is so great because one, what you learn about these stories is that the storyteller matters because they always have a message that they're trying to convey, which is the same thing when you come to the Bible or any other religious sources, because the context matters and what the griot or the storyteller is trying to communicate matters. So we always get to choose the version of the story we're telling to sort of like bring out a different nature of humanity or to teach people a different lesson. So, you know, sometimes the lesson is that some people are just too embarrassed to like
pride.
Their pride is too much, their ego is too much to stop and talk, and even when what you said is right, when it's wrong, you still stick with your version of whatever you think your truth is, which is damaging.
You know what, I think a lot of my favourite kind of like folklore are the ones where the kind of like conclusion isn't that everybody learns the mistake, learns from the mistakes and, you know, reconciles and does better. I love the ones where it's like, maybe one person learns from the mistake, but like the overwhelming majority of people don't.
Which is human. It's
it's, as a viewer or listening to the story, I think it's a more powerful thing to actually see the repercussions for people's, I guess, you know, not just their mistakes, but their not arrogance, their pride, you know, when we say it's sinful pride, when it's pride to a fault, like when there's an actual problem with it. Because I don't mind pride, I don't mind arrogance, I don't mind confidence, like all of that is, but it's when it's to a fault, when you know there's a lesson to be learned and you've chosen not to learn it and it's to the detriment of other people, then there's lessons to be learned.
I think I think stories like that, maybe why I really like them is I earlier described myself as a bit of an arrogant person, and I literally just think I just think it's how I grew up, you know, like being like an only child, being like a quote unquote gifted child, which who the fuck wasn't, also being near a virgin and like having what felt like a childhood where like it almost felt like I was privy to a world that other people weren't privy to, almost like a kind of like elevated consciousness, and so that breeds arrogance, especially when it's like, unfortunately I'm cursed with being a man, and when I'm looking at my male peers, I'm like, oh, I'm way smarter than most of you, and I know myself way more than most of you. That breeds arrogance, because it's not even a thing of like, it's like confirmation bias. It's like, I don't necessarily believe that I'm better than anybody, but the universe has consistently shown me that I am.
And sometimes it's like, you've just proven. You've just proven it.
And I think, because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a very spiritual person, and I recently started feeling human again, thanks to, you know, my recent friendships blossoming and like just trying new experiences, like living life to the fullest. Pardon me.
That's all good.
And one of the things I've been doing is kind of like trying to be in active communication with the universe, right? So that means literal call and response. I've been doing that with my body as well. A lot of the time when I'm sad, I don't necessarily know why. And I started asking myself, hey, body, why are you sad today? And usually something will pop up in my head. Or I will have a flashback to an experience, or I will have like a triggering sensation which will give me a flashback. And so it's like the kind of same call and response. I think I mentioned it a few episodes back, but how to summarize this without repeating myself? Okay, so I test myself a lot. I put myself in situations to test my responses, kind of like a big experiment. For example, after me and my ex broke up and we were rebuilding our friendship, I signed us both up for a couples shoot, right? We were in a music video pretending to be a couple because I wanted to test that if I simulate a romantic experience, will this bring up romantic feelings for this ex that I've probably been compartmentalizing and ignoring, right? It didn't, which was nice, but it just showed me, okay, cool, this is where I'm at. Like, this is what the temperature is. So I do that a lot.
Did they bring anything for them?
We spoke about it, and they're kind of like somebody who, it's like drawing blood from a stone, trying to, okay. Hence why we're not together. I do those kind of tests a lot in my friendships and whatnot, like day to day, but I recently started testing the universe, which is a very interesting phrase, because that speaks to my arrogance, because that speaks to the fact that I had like a subconscious belief that because I've always been able to outsmart anyone and everything and get myself out of situations because of my intelligence, I now felt like I could outsmart the universe, right? Which isn't a belief that I hold logically, but it is within my character, right? And so, last month? This year, I booked me and this ex for another couple shoot, which was due to be released on Valentine's Day. This was following conversations with my friends where they got the idea into my head. Again, I'm also susceptible to suggestion. My friends got the idea into my head that, you know, this ex has grown a lot. Like, you guys actually have great chemistry. Like, because it was a lot of their first time seeing our dynamic in real life. And I previously had a 2-hour conversation with this ex with one of my friends as a chaperone, where at the end of it she was like, oh no, Glo, I get it, you guys have fucking amazing communication. And so because of all of these conversations, I got the idea into my head, do you know what, maybe this is a relationship I should consider rekindling. And so I did a test, booking us for a couple shoot, and that was a Saturday, and then on the Sunday I booked, I was doing another shoot, and I booked my crush at the time as one of the models. So that was literal side-by-side comparison, right? Ex first and then the crush.
Wow.
So that I have like a good comparison. And then I basically said to the universe, I was like, hey sister, and again, this speaks to my arrogance, I am giving you a chance, not give me a chance. I am giving you a chance to show me literally verbatim, like, if you call, I will respond. I'm giving you a perfect chance to show me signs that who I should spend more time and energy in, ways in which I need to develop both of these relationships. Just show me something and I will listen. And if she could not have been any louder, right? The ex didn't show up. Didn't communicate on the day until 9 p.m. The shoot was at midday. So I was left in a situation where I show up to a couple shoot where most people there know me, and I'm the only person who has showed up without a partner. When people know me for showing up to motives without it was humiliating. The levels of anxiety that I'm autistic, I'm usually the planner friend, so I get a lot of anxiety regarding plans. You guys should have seen how anxious I was when I knew I was going to be late today. But it's my show, so you can find it. But yeah, so like the feelings that I felt were really triggering and reminded me of certain points in our relationship where I'd been really triggered, and points in our relationship where I thought to myself, okay, this is not going to be sustainable. At some point, you're gonna have to pull the plug. This ex had a very valid reason for not showing up. They're also someone who is always great with communicating about plans and that kind of stuff. So even the fact that it was a very rare 1 in a million letdown was even a testament to the fact that the universe was showing me this is not the thing that you should be investing that much romantic energy into. Which is interesting because things have now changed. But at the time, I wasn't meant to give energy to that thing. And then the next day, I had an amazing day with the crush. I had a very affirming day. We took great
The flashbacks.
It's because the pictures are I was gonna say we took great pictures together, but the pictures haven't come out yet. So people will probably know. I have about a month before this comes out, so I have time to decide if I want that. But yeah, and I just had a great day, which showed me this is what you should be putting energy into. And it didn't necessarily mean, this is the person you're going to date or you should try to date. It just meant invest more energy into this thing, especially with Valentine's. Valentine's was coming up at the time. It then let me know who I should spend Valentine's with. But that's been the catalyst. And yeah. So I feel like now, since then, I'm like, okay, cool, I can no longer ignore the universe, because there have been so many times where logically I know I've read my astrology, I've read my human design, I've consulted spiritualists, I've done the research to know, okay, if I choose, because when life provides you two paths and you it's like one's a good option, one's a less favourable option, I usually always choose the one that is most gratifying, which isn't always the best one, because the consequences of choosing the gratifying one are never that detrimental. It's usually like, hey, you get in some gratification and you might not get work done. And so I've always kind of just been arrogant enough, and I'm like, okay, cool, well, like, I know that logically if I choose the good path, then the universe will probably reward me, probably instantaneously.
Yeah.
But like, you don't tell me what to do, and like the bad choice is still desirable, and it isn't at my detriment, and like I can still do everything and get what I want. Like, you can't tell me what to do. And so now I've actually proven my theory is correct, and that you actually have to do the good thing, and I since then I have been constantly rewarded.
Yeah.
And so now I'm kind of just like, I have to be better to get better, and like,
oh no.
And I've tested the theory by doing the opposite a few times.
Yeah.
Like I've chosen the bad choice a few times since, and yeah.
It was bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, viewers, we can learn vicariously through.
Yeah, guys, you can't outsmart the universe. Okay. Yeah. But I feel like now I have like a more healthy relationship with spirituality and the universe and whatever entity that is, and now I feel like we are in active communication, which is something that I felt a lack of when I was a Christian.
Yeah.
It felt like a one-way conversation. It felt like I was constantly proving myself. Whereas now it feels like me and the universe are playing a fun little game.
Yeah.
Well, only we know the rules.
Yeah.
And nobody else is seeing the little signs and anything apart from us, and it's great. Mm-hmm. Before I close off this episode, I just wanted to say another shout out to my friends. Because I write and perform poetry, and I wrote a little of stanza for my friends today. My friends have saved me over and over again until I had the strength to save myself. When I was thirsty, they led me to the water so I could see myself and be replenished. The universe whispers loudly if you're willing to listen. And that's all of it so far. But yeah, before we move on to dilemmas, is there anything you guys want to share with the listeners?
You know where to find us, at Date Sheet Hellier. We are working on our second solo exhibition, so stay tuned on our socials for that. Yes.
We're just gonna be out there.
I'm
just gonna say we're just gonna be out there.
In the streets.
We're gonna be busy. No streets, but not them streets. I heard they're cold.
They are. But you know what? They're getting warmer.
Okay.
Also, my audience would have killed me if I didn't make this joke at some point. But you guys are both very gorgeous. Y'all want a third? I'm with that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Chirpse of Mio's Glow. If you don't know, then get to know. I'm going to put all of their socials below and a link to their exhibition. If it has happened already, then tough luck.
Should have watched it earlier.
Yeah.
Should have been here, in fact.
But yeah, tune in next week for another special episode of #AskGlow, where we answer your questions, problems, and dilemmas and give you some advice. Bye! That was a joke. Don't answer that. Because what happens usually is I say it as a joke, and then I'm terrified when the answer is yes, and then I'm put in a very compromising position where I'm like, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's like,
talk amongst yourselves. That's the good.
That was great.
No, that was great. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.